Hey, hi everyone, welcome to another IDV video. Today I decided to make a video about tips for Ember because this character might be tough to understand truly. So I'm gonna put my years of experience playing Ember because he was one of my first main and try to share what I've learned through these tips. So without wasting any time, let's start. The first tip I would give to a Ember player that is new is to body block more often. Something that not a lot of Leo players take advantage of is using the hitboxes of the Phantom and your character to control a survivor movement. The goods of doing it can be from giving an opportunity for a Phantom to hit a moving survivor, or block a survivor movement in order to gain momentum over them. Of course, it's not a priority thing, but I do feel like too many people try to play safe by hitting a survivor as soon as possible, but if you can try to pull something by body blocking, the rewards are great. The second tip I will give to a Ember player is to not rely too much on the sandwich strat. And what do I mean by the sandwich strat? It's simple. Basically, when you send a Phantom one way, you try to go around the obstacle to surprise the survivor and get a hit. Now, while this works most of the time, survivors can also double back, and if you try to go around while they just go back and just transition away, you're going to lose a lot of distance, and that's very punishing because you're going to waste time for your Phantom and for nothing. So sometimes you might wanna just not commit totally to go around the obstacle, but also double back sometimes, because if the survivors know you're always doing this, you're going to be too much predictable, and as small as these mistakes can be, it can be very costly depending on the context of the game, because Ember, he doesn't have a cooldown ability. It's a resource that he has to use carefully, so that's one big reason to always be careful when you make decision with the Phantom. So in short, change the way you chase with the Phantom around obstacle. The third tip I would give is to learn the puppet tricks and use them more often. Why I say so? The puppets are very versatile tools and can replace the Phantoms in most situations. And there's also the fact that they don't cost anything at all. If you throw them and use them, you can take them back. They're basically infinite resource tool, unless they're broken, but you know, in theory they can be in the map forever. So, for example, you need to camp, you don't have a flame. Of course, everybody knows that. It's one of the most obvious thing to do with Ember. You place the puppets near the share, you go around patrol, camp. If you find so, you hit them, then teleport back, and you hope to stop the rescue by hitting them a second time before they get the rescue. Of course, there's the harder way, and it is the double hit trick. Of course, it's very hard to do consistently. You can get it sometimes in training, but it's very hard to do because you have to have a precise timing, but it's not the subject of the video. So, but if you can do it, you can steal the rescue, you can make the rescuer scared of you. They won't try to commit too much in fear of getting double hit, and of course if they get double hit, it's good for you. Then for chase, the puppet can help you close distance to a survivor, which is good. You can also mind game them. For example, you throw a puppet on the other side, but you actually don't teleport on the other side because you teleport earlier thanks to a tech. And I didn't even talk about the red puppet, which greatly enhances your chase, camp. It basically is better than a Phantom, but of course the Phantom has the advantage to be summoned anywhere and unsummoned anywhere too. That's pretty much all I had to say for this tip. Learn the puppet tricks because it will greatly help your match as Ember. I have to say, always use the target option for the flame skill. So when you summon a phantom, you have the choice to just tap the skill button to make him spawn right on you. Then it will not target a specific survivor. It will just patrol until it finds a survivor. Then you have the aiming option, which you can use to target a survivor. And by doing this, if you target a survivor, it will always try to get to the survivor to hit them. Why I say you always have to use this option? The reason is that it doesn't have a huge detection range. If you just spawn it on a kiting area, for example, the survivor can just go away and there's a chance that the phantom might just not detect them at all and you wasted a flame. So most of the time you always use the aiming option, unless the survivor is behind a huge wall, and it's potentially good to do that. But of course, there's not only that, the survivors can help each other by taking the phantom away. This is something I always do against Ember when I'm a survivor. If it's chasing a teammate, I just take the phantom by getting close, and he's going to target me. The Ember is chasing without any power, and that's a bad thing because Ember cannot chase without any power. So you always wanna prioritize the target option, unless, yeah, like I said, behind a wall, or maybe, I mean, you wanna target a harasser, for example, and that might be good because they're always far away, so you wanna target them if you want to force them away. The last tip I will give you as a Ember main is to use your flame or puppets to pressure ciphers. This might not seem good to do because you waste resource, but the thing is that you don't waste them, you actually use them to prevent survivor from doing ciphers. If you send, for example, a puppet, it's going to roam, find a survivor, and force them to break the puppet, or else they're just going to be pursued. They're going to have to tap the puppet and decode, which is annoying, so they're going to destroy it, which takes 15 seconds. And if you send a phantom, it's going to take 25 seconds. You might think this is not good because you don't want to use the phantom for that. You rather use it for chase, but if you're good with the puppets, you know the tricks, you know to bypass some obstacle thanks to the puppets, or chase survivor overall, then you might wanna just waste the phantom for it, especially if you have the red puppet. That's pretty much all I have to say about the tips for Ember that I want to say. So see you in the next video, and hopefully I won't do another Ember video because I've done a lot of Ember videos. So yeah, goodbye.